welcome to another video from me. So this one's not a process video this time. A few ladies from the Nicole Jones 911 Facebook page, a few of us have come together to make some videos, and this is an essentials video for 2014. So Irit Landgraf came up with the idea, and we are joining her and sharing some of our essential items for 2014 for scrapbookers, and hopefully to give you an idea of what, if you're new to scrapbooking, what sort of things are really the essentials and what things you could perhaps avoid buying. So I will start today, and my first thing is scissors. So the handy dandy scissors, pair of scissors, and I have got a lot of scissors, as you can see, and I've probably got some more. I've probably got more than that somewhere around. My favourite ones are these three, and I use these long scissors when I actually want to cut something of length, like a 12 by 12 piece. I find that because the long blades, well, the blades are longer, I can get a longer cut. So if I'm wanting to cut a long piece that's straight and not use my paper trimmer, I go to these scissors. These are my favourite, and I like to use these. So these are a Martha Stewart pair. These are an American Crafts pair, and I like to use these for a bit of fussy cutting and just cutting everything else. And these ones were a pair of Fiskars, I think, and I've had these forever, and I used to love fussy cutting with them. Still do, but I tend to grab these ones when I want to cut something that is sticky, so that I don't gunk up all of these. So if you have a pair of scissors, you don't have to pay an exorbitant amount, but a pair of pointy end scissors are great for fussy cutting, and any brand is fine. So I'll just move on to my next little essentials, and I have got a paper trimmer. So just putting those away. So my favourite paper trimmer, and this isn't a favourite of everyone else's, but it's a favourite of mine, and I have had that many paper trimmers over my scrapbooking period of time that I love this one. I love that this one is light. I love that the handle pulls out and takes it to 12 inches long. I love that it is easy to use. It's got a guide at the top and the bottom to save your paper moving over and cutting crooked, and it has a little wire piece in here which you probably can't see, but it actually has a little wire piece in there that shows me exactly where my blade is going to cut. Now it has replaceable blades. The downside is that it's only a little point, so I go through these, you know, once a month I need to buy another one, and often that pops out of its housing during use. They are the only negatives that I found. Other people have found that they don't cut quite straight, but I've not had a problem with mine. And, you know, in Australia, scrapbooking supplies aren't cheap, and I think this trimmer was about $35 on sale, which is reasonable when the others are up at the, you know, 60, 70 or above mark. So this one's light and easy. Grab it, put it to the side. I can use it anywhere, and so to me this one is my favourite cutter. So I'm just looking at my phone. I've got all my little list of things. So the next thing that I have got on my list is some dimensional foam. So this is what I tend to use. It's called Magic Mount, and it is pieces. I'll just grab one I've already cut, and they are pieces of foam. It's 2mm thick, and you basically just cut it to be whatever size you want. So I have not come across the big rolls of foam tape that a lot of the ladies in the US use, and so this is the best thing for me. So I can cut this to be as small as I like, or the pieces to be as long as I like. So this is like $3.50 for 2 sheets in there, so that is a good bargain. The next one I would use is this, again, is 12mm, I think, thick, or anyway, these are a good size because they're very, very thin, and they are good for popping underneath brads when you cut the stem off, or putting some dimension underneath photos and not having it too thick. So these ones here are from American Crafts, and they are quite a thick, don't know if you can see that, but they are quite a thick, high foam, and so sometimes that's way too high for what I want. So my favourite ones are from Stampin' Up, and as you can see, there are not very many left on this sheet, but here they're quite expensive. So I think for 2 pieces it's like $9. So these ones here for you know, 2 sides are like $2 from Spotlight, so they would be my favourite. And then if I can't be bothered cutting my magic mount, I have these little pieces as well that come off, and they're already pre-cut. So when would I use them? I would use them to prop up photos, to prop up different elements on my page that I want to give a little bit of dimension, some stickers if I want the stickers not to be flat on my page. So that's what I would use them for. So I will just put them aside and have a look at my phone and see what is next. So a craft mat. Some people just love to work on their work surface, and I like to work on a craft mat because you never know when I want to pull out my scalpel and cut something, or when I want to poke something, and so I find this saves my work surface from getting wrecked, and you know, it's a functional thing, and it's also got a grid on it, so I can line up my papers and make sure that everything is straight. And the other work surface that I like to use is a Tim Holtz craft mat, which you might have seen people use, and I just keep it rolled up, and basically it's a bit of like Teflon plastic, and has a coating so that nothing sticks to it. So I can get paint on this, and as you can see, I can just scratch the bits off. I wipe it up with some baby wipes, clear it off. So this is a great surface to do painting and all sorts of messy mixed media, but it is not something that you would use your scalpel with because you're going to cut it and wreck it. So I also have a Martha Stewart mat here, and it does a similar thing. So I alternate between the 2 mats, and they are great for, like I said, for messy mixed media kind of work. So I'll just roll that up, and what else have we got? So my Pokey Tools and a set of pliers. So I think these are essentials. So when you used brads, and so brads are these lovely round, they look like flare, but they have the prongs on the back. Now I have a love-hate relationship with these things, and I don't always like the way they work. So I don't like having to pick the hole in them, because I find that once you've stuck the hole, sometimes it's not quite where you want it to go. The prongs are always a little bit bent, and to get them in perfectly, sometimes they're not in the right position. So what I do is So if I'm going to leave the prongs on there, this pokey tool is awesome. So this one is from Tim Holtz, and you literally just poke a hole through your paper. So it's just a sharp little needle. This one's great because it actually slides back in and you don't cut yourself. But what I love to do is take these little prongs and have my little pair of these little jewellery making pliers, and I snip the little prong off, and then I tuck that little bit if there's a little bit excess, and then this is where these ones come in handy. So basically all I do is put that little foam dot on the back and peel that off, and then that actually sits flush to the page. So it means that I don't have to poke a hole through for these brads, and I can use them more as flair instead. So that is the pokey tool and the little pliers. And let's have a look what we've got next. So a craft knife. So this one here, you can see that it is well loved. So I actually have a few, oh, that's another little pokey tool. So I have a few of these little craft knives, and a lot of them, you know, you can change the blade so that it stays sharp all the time. You can pick these up for only a couple of dollars. They have little lids on them to keep yourself from being cut. And also with that is, I love using my Tim Holtz ruler. So I'm not sure if you're gonna, I might just flick this over to be pink and you'll be able to see that hopefully better. So this ruler is great for measuring. In scrapbooking it is in inches, which is the measurement that we usually work on for scrapbooking, and it also has grid lines on it, so you can line it up with your grid mat, but the bonus is that it has a metal side to it. So if I was to cut something with my craft knife on this plastic knife, knowing me, I always go crooked, and I can actually feel that I've done that and forgotten which side to use, and I take a chunk out of my plastic ruler. So this ruler is great because it's got a metal edge, so I can have the bonus of I don't have to have a metal ruler which I can't see through, so I can see exactly where I'm going to line this up and use my craft knife to cut whatever I'm going to cut with. So I will usually use my craft knife. I can use it for gutting out the middle of my paper that I want to use, or to go around some intricate pieces that perhaps I'm more confident to cut out with my knife than I am with my scissors. So they are scrapbooking essentials to me. And the next one is wet glues. So at the moment I use glossy accents, and that pretty much glues everything permanently. So I usually use that for elements that are heavier, and I use this Tombow Mono Aqua for pieces that are, you know, just paper elements. I do like, which I'm just looking around now, I think that I'm out, I have run out, and it is the Tombow Mono Multi Glue. So it's the one with the green lid, and it's more of a cream, a white paste. And I'm just going to have a quick look. Looking through to see whether I have any there to show you what it, here it is. Okay, so this is, it's very, very dirty, so I've gotten it very, very sticky and had sticky hands. So, but that's what the that glue looks like, and it's more of a white glue, and it smells beautiful, and it holds really well. And it dries a little bit quicker than this glue dries. That's the only difference that I have found. This one holds everything just as well, but this one actually dries a little bit quicker. So they're my essential glues. This is for, and I've got it in two different sizes. So this one's for if I want to do buttons or things that are a little bit of a heavier nature, and these ones are perfectly fine for paper, and they work great for me. And dry glue adhesive. So I have got my advanced tape glider, or my ATG, and I really like this. It's not so common in Australia to have one of these, and I did order this online, and people look at it, and you know, whenever you see people using them, they look like they are awkward because they look really big, but when you actually use them, they are really light in the hand. They fit in your hand really well. You know, it's a matter of just pressing the button and rolling it along, letting it go when, you know, you're finished rolling, and it's actually really, really light. So I find it's very easy. Before I had that, I always used my, this is a brand called Express It tape. It's usually about that thick when it starts, and it's just double-sided tape. So you put it on and peel off the backing, and in my videos you will have seen that I use this quite often, and it comes in lots of different sizes, and I have got some big thick stuff as well. So I usually use the thick double-sided tape when I have used mixed media on a layout and the paper has buckled a little bit, and so I like to put this in different strips to hold the paper a little bit more when I'm putting it onto a backing sheet, to hold it a little bit more steady and to help crease out some of those buckles. And so yeah, this comes in a few different sizes, and like I said, this one's really good. I do have a problem with my shoulder sometimes with scrapbooking. It's like repetitive strain injury, and so if I'm doing a lot of scrapbooking and I'm picking the sticky tape off, I actually get a pinch in my shoulder, and whereas, you know, that doesn't happen with this one. So for us here in Australia, it is a little bit hard to get the refills, and you know, because we're always having to pay postage, so you know, I don't want to have to pay $10 postage for something so little. So that is something to consider if you're in Australia, that it's not always the cheapest option compared to the double-sided tapes with the backing sheet, but I would prefer this all the time for quickness and ease of use. So just having a look at my little list. So black ink. My favourite black ink, my essential black ink, is this Winsor & Newton ink, that if you would like to go back and have a look at my video playlist, there is a video for a video that I made comparing the black inks, different black inks, and how they hold up and how they work on paper. And this one was a winner on every single category. So if you've watched my videos before, you know that I like to put black ink on practically every video just before I'm finished. Oh, sorry, on every layout just before I'm finished. And so therefore this one is an essential for me because it makes beautiful splatters, it makes shiny splatters, and they don't bleed or wick out. So this one is a winner and is my preferred ink, which you can buy from craft stores. So the next one is, I'm up to number 10 already, essentials is to have a variety of paintbrushes. So I just buy cheap paintbrushes because you know, guaranteed that I'm going to put them in a pot of water and forget about them, and I'm not very kind, as you can see, to them. They get a little bit damaged and wrecked. So I like to buy the cheap ones, but I like to have varying sizes. So something like that I love to do my splatters with, but something like this I might like to paint my gesso on with, or something a little that I'm wanting to cover a little bit more space, and these tiny little ones are good for the details. And then we have the water-filled paintbrushes, and they are awesome because they already have water in them, and they are good for colouring. So you can grab a ink pad and go straight to the pad and do a little bit of painting on some of the areas with that. So you don't need to have a lot of water on your brush, and so they are really good for helping your page not to warp or you know, to add too much water. You can control how much water you want to use. So some paint brushes are good if you want to add a little bit of mixed media to your layouts. And the last one, I'm up to number 11, would be to have a spray bottle on hand. So this one I just got from the supermarket, and it just sits on my desk all the time, and it's just filled with water, and sometimes I will use it instead of having my jar of water here. I will use it to, if I want to mix up a bit of paint, and I will just spray a little bit of water onto my surface area. If I want to have drips on my page, I can spray my page, and you know, that is just something always handy to have. So they are my essentials. So if I'll just recap that for you, just having a look at my phone. So I've got my scissors, I had my paper trimmer, some foam squares, my craft mat, and my other mat for doing mixed media, some wet glues, some dry glues, my favourite ink, and my paint brushes of different sizes, and a spray bottle. So the next video that I will be doing is the My Style Makers, and that will be a video on my favourite products that I have enjoyed using in 2014, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the other ladies' videos. And so at the bottom of this video will be a link to all the other ladies who are putting a video up, and I'm sure they would love you to go and visit them. And if you've enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to give me a thumbs up and maybe leave a comment and let me know if some of my products are the ones that you enjoy as well, or let me know what products are your favourite and what you think are your essential tools for 2014. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!